So I just want to welcome everyone to the second installment of 15 Minutes With. My name is Matthew, and I'm joined this morning 15 minutes with Mitch Biggar, who is in Perth, Andover, New Brunswick. Mitch, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, like I said on the off camera before we get going here, this is just something new for me. This is my second episode, so it's kind of like an avenue of Matt TV, where the platform is to just bring people on who want to just, hey, this is my story. So on your Facebook page, it says that you are a lover of ales,
Yeah.
good music, and community. Just touch base, like what is the most significant thing about a good ale?
A good ale. Well, for me, I'm a fan of kind of more experimentals. I like the double and triple IPAs, but I also like black and white IPAs. So hop profile for me is a big thing. And in this area, we're lucky enough that we're surrounded by three rather large hop farms.
Nice. Okay. Now, I haven't had a drink of alcohol in like 14 years. So for me, what's the difference between an ale and say a bottle of Budweiser or, the
Yeah.
general beers? What's the difference?
Yeah, so I mean, beers can fall in a bunch of different categories. The biggest ones usually are ales and pilsners. So ales are always fermented from the top down. Pilsners are fermented from the bottom up in a very temperature controlled climate. And then within ales, you'll have all your other categories: your browns, your reds, your stouts, your IPAs, etc.
Okay. And how often in a week are you tasting these great beverages?
Oh,
After
well,
after a hard day of work?
yeah, no, probably like, we have a lot of music events on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
those are probably when I test the most. And we're lucky our local pub here has 13 taps in rotation, and they usually rotate between different maritime breweries. So it's quite nice.
Awesome, awesome. Uh, Good music. You are the station manager of the Bridge in Perth Andover. To you, what kind of music are you introducing to the residents of Perth Andover and anyone else who happens to be listening to the Bridge?
Yeah, on the bridge, I would primarily say the music we play is kind of like folk slash Canadiana. So we play a lot of up and coming new local maritime East Coast, then kind of like Canadian, and then we're also getting a few independent US artists on as well. But I would say, in the US they would call it Americana, but basically it's more folk based for sure.
Okay.
And when we do tend to do live shows here in town, we bring in kind of all different kinds of types of artists. We've had several different Aboriginal artists. We've had a couple rap shows, a couple country singers. So it just depends. We try to support local musicians as much as we can, but on the bridge, primarily folk.
Okay. I was going to say, because with my background in radio broadcasting, and you have a background in radio broadcasting as well, too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, as you were talking about all that Canadian content, the percentage of Canadian content per hour is probably quite high on the Bridge. Yes.
Yeah. I would say we're probably 98%. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. Mitch, are you a lifetime resident of Perth Andover?
No, I've lived in the St. John River Valley pretty much
Okay.
most of my life, but between mostly Florenceville, Fredericton, and Perth Andover. So I've been in Perth Andover for the last 6 years now, and before
Okay.
that, probably same amount of time in Florenceville.
Okay. So, like we mentioned off the very beginning, on May 10th, yeah, you are running. I think we did mention it at the beginning, but you are running for a council seat on May 10th, which is 15 days away.
Right.
With the skill set that you have acquired over your life, how are you going to use those skills to better serve Perth Andover? Why should people vote for you? I'm going to give you this platform right now
Yeah,
just
sure.
to do that.
Thanks. Yeah, so my background's a little bit strange. I started off in journalism, and I've worked in both radio, print, and TV broadcast journalism. So good communication skills there. And then I went into IT for a while, and then I actually went back to school, very later in life, and started focusing in on business. So my day job currently is accounts payable manager at McCain Foods Canada for North America. So I've got a really, really good sense of budgets and financing and disbursement of cash and controls and things like that. So I think it's a combination of those three things, plus my volunteer experience. I've been president or vice president of numerous chamber of commerce. I was the head of the provincial New Brunswick English Library Board system for a few years as well. I serve on different boards involving music associations as well. So I think that combination of having, some tourism backed things as far as music goes, my business experience, my communication skills, it gives me a kind of a fresh set of eyes to look
Mhm.
at the village as a whole. And, some things I want to focus on definitely are economic development. It's huge. We need to revitalize our economic base here and stop thinking strictly about brick and mortar. So then that brings in
Mhm.
my IT experience as well, right? So we need to
Mhm.
market ourselves because nobody else is basically.
That's I'm glad that you have that out there. People can make that choice to have like another 2 weeks. How many other individuals are running for a council seat?
We have 9 individuals running for 5 seats, and 4 of them are incumbents from before. So there's basically, yeah. So there's 9 running for 5. 4 were previously in council before. One councillor, Paul Kinney, didn't reoffer this time. He served quite a bit of time and he's involved in a lot of nonprofits as well. So he
Mhm.
just thought it was time to step aside. So it'll be interesting. We've got a couple, I would say, fairly new people that just they've got roots here, family roots, but they've just sold their homes in Ontario and moved back to the
Mhm.
area recently. So it's good to see. I was quite energized. Until the last day, we only had 5 for 5. It looked like everybody was going to be acclaimed, and then within the
Mhm.
last hour, we had more people step up. So it's
Okay.
good, and all different kinds of background, and I'm really excited to see it. It's one of the better years we've had for people running. Um, Last election, we only had 30% of the population turn out to vote in the whole province for municipal. And I'm a little
Wow.
bit worried because of COVID instructions that'll be down as well. But
Mhm.
this year you can mail in. They've got courier-based ballots. You can actually vote starting last week at any municipal returning office, which there's one in town. So you can avoid those lines and stay safe as well. So that's good to see.
Okay. Now, I wanted to ask you now, correct me if I'm wrong, but because you are the station manager of the bridge, are you not offering all the other candidates a platform to come on and discuss their platform for free on your station? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Because
So I put
because that right there, sorry, that right there would get my vote to get you into council.
Yeah, so basically, one of the other organizations I used to be heavily involved with is the St. Andrews Community TV station in St. Andrews, New Brunswick, which is called CHCL. And so they do a similar thing, meet the candidates. So basically, I mirrored their 5 questions. So they're not original. So I basically put it out there. Here's 5 questions. You have the opportunity to prep for them.
Okay.
And I offered it to all candidates in the St. John River Valley because right now we're web-based, so our reach is quite far. So I've had one counselor from the village of Plastrock that we did an interview with yesterday. I've got one this afternoon with the Florenceville candidate, and I've got one this afternoon with another Perth Andover candidate as well.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Awesome. Good on you, man. Good on. Good luck. Good luck to all the candidates. It's just
yeah, exactly.
it's nice to see community members step up and take that next level where they can make decisions for the whole. So let's just change gears and get out of the politics for a minute.
Sure.
You do a lot of Facebook Live videos, and I think one of the videos where you spend some time is the Oak Tree Restaurant and Pub.
Yeah.
Now, people are coming back; they're able to dine inside, following the protocol. What does it mean for you to see people back into a restaurant and to a pub? And what does it mean? What's the feedback you're getting from the performers who are now back out doing it live again? What's that mean to them?
Yeah, it's been challenging because I mean we're able to be back, but we still you have to follow some pretty strict regulations still.
Mhm.
So our seating capacity is probably about 40% of what it used to be. So instead of having 100 people there, we're down to about 40 people now because of the
Mhm.
social distancing of the tables. So we try to encourage people to come in bigger tables with their own bubbles. So in New Brunswick right now, you can currently have a bubble of 15 people. So we try to get those tables filled up with bigger groups. So that's been interesting. And then, of course, if you get up off your table, you have to put a mask on to go to the bathroom
Mhm.
or go up the
Mhm.
stage. Same thing when the performers are coming up and on. So it's been unique. It's been different. The performers are just so grateful and eager and so excited to get back in front of a live audience again, regardless of, how many people are in the room. So they've been very accommodating about, pricing of tickets and their guarantee and things like that. So it's been great. I would say they all work together. We had a singer-songwriter show there Friday night, which was sold out the Monday before the show. So all the tables were booked. We were at max capacity, and we had 4 performers do a singer-songwriter, and it was great. So it was really good to see, and I think the community appreciated it as well, and everybody was mindful of the rules and no problems at all.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the songwriter circle tour. Is that what you just mentioned there?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was wondering, have any of the artists debuted any new material, maybe songs that they've wrote during this pandemic? That would be interesting to see
Yeah.
weeks down the road.
Yeah. So actually, the way the singer-songwriter one worked, we had 2 performers from Fredericton, 1 from St. John, and they always, whatever town they're in, they always pick up a local guy. So the local person actually on this one was Aaron Crane, and he's been working the last year self-producing his own new album, and he actually sang 2 songs off that hadn't premiered anywhere else Friday night. So it was good to see.
Oh, perfect, perfect. We're going to be wrapping this up real quick because it's called 15 Minutes With.
Yeah.
You had a barbecue. Excuse me. You had a barbecue. Your first barbecue of the season.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I would probably say it was probably an 8. The burgers were great, and we had pretzel buns, so that was great. Of course, then we got about 2 inches of snow the next day, so
Ooh,
a little
yeah,
premature, but it didn't last. So it was fine. But we're gonna try again today, but it's a little bit chillier today. But
well, I mean, the barbecue throws heat, so it's all good.
yeah, that's right.
Vaccination, yes or no?
Yes, for me. I've actually was one of the fortunate ones. I was able to get mine done 3 weeks ago on Wednesday. So I've had my first shot of the Pfizer. No side effects. A little bit tired the next day and a little bit of a sore arm, but not bad. And to tell you the truth, I had a really bad reaction to just a regular flu shot 3 years ago, where I could hardly move my arm for about 2 weeks.
Wow.
So this was a piece of cake in comparison. So my wife and I were both fortunate enough. They were doing them on the Tobic First Nations Reserve, and they had extra over, and they called us, just before 7 and said, "Hey, we've got some left over. Come up right now because we don't want them to go to waste."
Perfect. Now, what arm was that again?
I got that in my right arm. Yeah.
Your right arm. Now,
Yeah.
is that the arm that you used to sign your name 800 times?
Yeah, it was.
Is
Yeah.
it?
So that's true. I did 800 letters to every mailbox in the village of Perth Andover, and I hand signed them all one by one.
Wow. That is amazing. Now, do you know of anyone else, just quickly at the end here, do you know of anyone else who has done a similar feat? Like signed their names that many times?
No, I don't. And
No.
it was really funny. I ended up getting a lot of phone calls because of that flyer, that people were really appreciative to actually get a piece of physical mail.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let alone being hand signed, but it was good to do.
I'm just going to give you 30 seconds here at the end, just to give yourself one more plug as why the residents of Perth Andover should put you on council this year in like 15 days.
Sure. So one of the things I promised is openness and transparency, rather. I've also promised that I won't be taking my councillor's salary if I'm elected. That salary money will actually be going back into the Perth Andover Business Improvement Group, where that group can use that money every year to do cross-promotion marketing material between the businesses in town. I've also, because of the setup I have at home with a pretty good home office and studio for the bridge, to have so many hours a week, having office hours dedicated for a council person. To my knowledge, nobody else has ever done that in the village in the history of council. And because of my business background and my communications and entertainment connections, I just think I can bring a fresh approach and think outside the box and not get traditional economic development going, but really new wave and IT-based development as well.
Perfect. Oh, good luck. Good luck to you and all the candidates. And I'm, like you said here a few moments ago, it's nice to see now that there's 9. And 9 going for 5 seats. Is that what it is?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Mitch, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your extremely busy schedule to hang out with me on 15 Minutes With.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Good luck.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks.